It's not just about studying at Japanese schools. Children across the nation are often expected to clean their classroom at the end of the day.
中には校則は書いているんですけども、こんなおかしなものもあります。
Have you ever stepped into the mysterious grounds of Japan's schools, where whispers of ancient traditions and strange rules echo through the hallways? Japanese school rules can carry secrets as dark as the unseen. There exists a schooling system wrapped in mystery. Beyond the place of ordinary lessons, students navigate a world filled with rituals that challenge their courage, discipline, and respect for the unseen forces of harmony. Join us in Japan's educational shadows, where every rule hints at age-old wisdom and hidden truths waiting to be revealed. Chapter 1. Curfews in Japan, a flexible approach. The night doesn't fall with a single rule for every kid. Before they hit 18, it's up to their folks to call the shots on when they should head home. It's a mix of gut feeling and wisdom from parents, making the shot on bedtime. But here's the twist. Different corners of Japan have their own set of rules. It's like each place whispers its own time for kids to say goodbye to the moonlit streets, painting a picture of a country where variety rules. The heart of Japan's way is believing in parents to guide their kids right, to walk them through what it means to live with respect, follow the groove of the rules, and carry their load of responsibilities. It's a belief that moms and dads know best how to blend their family's values into the night's curfew. Schools and parents join hands, especially on school nights, to draw a line in the sand for when it's time to be tucked in, all in the name of safety. How this line holds up varies wildly. You might find shops and neighborhoods laying down the law, making sure kids aren't turning sidewalks into their midnight playground. While there's no across-the-board bedtime law, families in Japan craft their own. They lean on technology, like apps that keep tabs on their young ones, ensuring they're under a safe roof. The talk around curfews isn't hushed. It's an open dialogue, underlining a shared belief that standing up to responsibility matters big time. This blend of personal choice and community spirit crafts a space where kids learn to navigate the world with respect for its rhythms and rules. As night falls in Japan, we see how different places have different curfew times for kids, mixing tradition and what parents think is best. Chapter 2. Dress codes forever. Many schools have very strict rules about what students can wear, even down to the color of their underwear. This has caused a lot of discussions about whether these rules are too much and if they invade students' privacy and rights. A notable example is a survey from Fukuoka that showed many schools were really strict about these dress codes, which made a lot of people upset. They thought it was too invasive and that it stepped on the rights of the students. Because of the upset these rules caused, some places started to change. For example, Saga Prefecture decided to stop checking what color underwear students wore. This change is part of a bigger conversation happening all over Japan. People are talking about how schools can keep things orderly while still respecting the students' personal rights and privacy. It's a sign that Japan is thinking hard about how to make their education system better. They want to make sure schools are places where rules make sense, respect the students, and keep things running smoothly at the same time. This ongoing debate and change show that Japan is moving towards education policies that are more understanding and less about controlling every little detail of students' lives. By looking at and changing these strict dress codes, schools in Japan are trying to create a more respectful and open environment. This approach aims to balance discipline with dignity, ensuring students feel respected and valued while keeping the school environment orderly and focused on learning. Moving from night to day, we look at how schools balance personal style with working together. Chapter 3. The Sasumata. The Sasumata is a tool from Japan that has a long history, going back to the time of the samurais and early police practices. Originally, it was used to help catch or control people without hurting them, showing Japan's long-standing focus on resolving problems without causing harm. Nowadays, this tool has found a new purpose, especially in schools, to keep everyone safe in a way that avoids violence. There is a strong belief in handling conflicts or dangerous situations without resorting to violence. The Sasumata is a perfect example of this belief in action. Schools across Japan have started to use this tool as part of their safety plans. Teachers and school staff are trained to use the Sasumata effectively to stop any threats or emergencies in a calm and non-violent manner. This training is important because it helps maintain peace and safety without making the situation worse. The modern version of the Sasumata has been updated to make it even safer and easier to use. These updates show how Japan is good at taking old traditions and finding new uses for them that meet today's safety needs. By using the Sasumata, schools can quickly and safely deal with problems while avoiding harm. This approach is a testament to Japan's dedication to peace and safety, blending historical practices with contemporary needs. We move from night lessons and dress codes to looking at how old ways keep us safe today. Chapter 4. The TDV Code. High school relationships, not just around the world, are crucial to growing up. They can teach teenagers a lot about themselves and how to interact with others. However, these relationships also come with their own set of challenges, such as the possibility of teen dating violence, TDV. This is a serious issue that can have long-lasting effects on young people's lives. Schools in Japan have taken proactive steps to help students navigate the complex world of high school relationships safely and healthily. They have started programs designed to teach students about healthy relationships. These programs cover important topics like how to communicate effectively, how to understand and respect each other's feelings, and how to support one another positively. The aim is to give students the tools they need to build strong, respectful relationships, both now and in the future. Schools and parents play a vital role in this educational process. It's important for both to work together to guide teenagers through the ups and downs of relationships. This means having open conversations about the joys and challenges of dating and how to deal with difficult situations like TDV. By promoting values like empathy, respect, and communication, Japanese schools hope to help students develop into emotionally intelligent individuals who can form healthy relationships throughout their lives. We go from quiet safety to exploring how love and learning mix as kids grow up. Chapter 5. Student-Led Cleaning. Unlike in the West, where schools usually hire janitors to keep the place clean, Japanese schools ask their students to roll up their sleeves and do the cleaning themselves. This method is not just about keeping the school spotless. It serves a much bigger purpose. Children learn important life lessons from a young age, such as taking responsibility for their actions and spaces, working well with others as a team, and showing respect for their surroundings. By sharing in the cleaning tasks, students experience firsthand how their efforts contribute to the community's well-being. They see how working together can achieve great results, like a cleaner and more welcoming school environment. This practice helps build a sense of pride and ownership over their school. Students are more likely to care for and respect a place they've personally cleaned. This attitude extends beyond the school grounds, contributing to Japan's well-known cleanliness and orderliness. The practice reflects a broader cultural value in Japan that emphasizes the importance of cleanliness and shows how education can play a key role in teaching these values. We leave behind young love to see how keeping things clean and working together builds strong school communities. Chapter 6. Mandatory swimming lessons in schools. Learning to swim is considered very important, so much so that it's a required part of what kids learn in school. This focus on swimming is all about keeping kids safe and making sure they're healthy, both in body and mind. Swimming isn't just a fun activity, it's seen as a vital skill that everyone should know. The idea is to ensure that children know how to handle themselves in water from a young age. This is important because it helps prevent accidents in pools, lakes, rivers, or any place where water might be. Starting these lessons early in school means that students get to exercise regularly, which is great for their physical health. Swimming is a kind of exercise that works out the whole body, improving heart health, building muscle strength, and even helping with flexibility. But it's not just about the physical benefits. Swimming can also be really good for mental health. It's a way to relieve stress, feel more relaxed, and even boost mood. We move from clean and united spaces to swimming pools, where water teaches important life lessons. Chapter 7. Independent School Commutes. It is common to see kids going to school alone, without their parents or any adults with them. This might seem unusual to some people from other countries, but in Japan, it's a sign of how safe the country is and how much people trust each other. Letting kids travel to school alone is a big deal because it teaches them to be independent and responsible at a very young age. The idea behind this practice is that the whole community looks out for the safety of children. Neighbors, local shopkeepers, and even other commuters keep an eye on the kids as they go to school. This doesn't mean that parents aren't worried about their children. They definitely care a lot about their safety. However, Japanese parents also believe that learning to do things independently, like navigating their way to school, is really important for their kids' growth. It's a way to teach them how to be independent while ensuring they're safe. This practice isn't just about getting to school, it's part of a bigger picture. In Japan, being able to do things on your own and taking responsibility for your actions are very valued traits. By starting these lessons early in life, kids learn to be dependable and self-sufficient. Plus, this independence doesn't mean the kids are completely alone. There are many safety measures in place, like well-organized school routes, community watch programs, and public awareness about keeping an eye out for the kids. After swimming, we see how kids learn to be on their own, guided by their community. Chapter 8. The uncommon use of backpacks. Many schools have a unique way of doing things that sets them apart from schools in other parts of the world. One noticeable difference is that students often do not use backpacks. Instead, they carry their books and school materials in their hands or in different kinds of bags. This practice is much more than just a simple rule about how to carry things. It's deeply connected to the values and beliefs that Japanese culture holds dear. Minimalism and organization are highly valued in Japan. These principles are not just about keeping spaces clean and clutter-free, they also reflect a way of living and learning that emphasizes the importance of being thoughtful about what we need and use. By not relying on backpacks, students learn to carry only what is absolutely necessary for their school day. This teaches them to be mindful and selective, encouraging them to focus on what is truly important. The reason behind this approach is deeply educational. It's about teaching students more than just academic subjects. It's about instilling values of simplicity, self-discipline, and efficiency. These values help students in their studies and life outside of school. They learn to prioritize tasks, organize their time, and approach their daily routines with a sense of order and purpose. We go from being alone to seeing how carrying less shows a culture that values simplicity. Chapter 9. The A+ Sports Culture. Many schools have a unique approach to sports and physical education that differs from what we see in other countries. Instead of having traditional sports teams that compete against each other, Japanese schools often organize inclusive sports days. These events are designed to involve every student, regardless of their athletic ability. The idea is to encourage kids to be active and participate rather than just focusing on winning or being the best. This inclusive approach to sports in schools highlights a bigger commitment to making sure all students benefit from physical education. It's about more than just exercise, it's about building a strong sense of community and teamwork. During these sports days, Students work together in various activities and games, which helps them learn the value of cooperation and collective success. Everyone gets to participate and contribute, making these events special and fun for the students. By emphasizing broad participation in sports, Japanese schools are teaching students that physical activity is important for everyone. It's a way to stay healthy, but it's also a chance to connect with others and work as a team. This approach fits into a larger philosophy of education in Japan that prioritizes inclusivity and personal growth. It's not just about academic learning, it's also about developing social skills, learning to work with others, and growing as individuals. We shift from liking less stuff to everyone moving together in sports, showing unity and health. Chapter 10. Hats and Rules. There's a specific rule in schools that students shouldn't wear hats, and this rule is deeply connected to the country's culture, which values respect and good manners highly. This no-hat policy is more than just about keeping a neat appearance. It's a way to teach students to show respect for their surroundings and the people around them. It's a lesson in being polite and thoughtful, qualities that are very important in Japanese society. This rule helps students understand and appreciate the importance of following social norms and respecting common spaces. It's about recognizing that certain behaviors are expected in certain places, and by following these rules, students are showing respect for their school community and the broader culture outside of school. This approach to teaching respect through simple rules like the no-hat policy is a reflection of a bigger goal in Japanese education, which is to develop well-rounded individuals who are not just smart in terms of school subjects, but also know how to behave respectfully in society. By learning to follow the no-hat rule, students are getting a practical lesson in how to be considerate of others and mindful of cultural expectations. It's a way of reinforcing the idea that being respectful and polite is as important as academic achievements. This rule is a small part of a larger educational philosophy that aims to prepare students to be responsible, respectful adults who can contribute positively to society. Leaving sports behind, we enter classrooms where natural looks matter. Chapter 11. Natural Looks at School. The idea of unity and similarity is taken very seriously, especially in schools. The schools have a rule that students should not dye their hair different colors. This rule goes beyond just appearance. It is deeply connected to the concept of learning how to be an effective member of a team. The belief is that if students look similar, without distractions like different hair colors, they can focus more on their studies. This approach is thought to help students excel academically and develop important life skills, such as teamwork and discipline. This emphasis on looking the same is not just about controlling how students express themselves. It's more about creating an environment where everyone feels equal and concentrated on common goals. By wearing the same uniforms and keeping their hair natural, students are encouraged to find unity and harmony with each other. This unity is seen as a way to reduce distractions and competition over fashion or appearance, allowing students to concentrate on what's really important: their education and personal growth. Moving from looks to actions, we see how not chewing gum reflects a deep respect for cleanliness. Chapter 12. Why Gum is Banned at School. Schools have a simple yet important rule for all students. They are not allowed to chew gum. At first glance, this rule might appear minor or insignificant, but it actually plays a crucial role in maintaining the cleanliness and orderliness of the school environment. By adhering to this rule, students are not just avoiding litter, they are actively participating in creating a tidy and well-organized space that everyone can enjoy. This no-gum rule is about more than just keeping the floors and desks free from sticky messes. It's about instilling a sense of responsibility and respect in students. When students choose to follow this rule, they are showing respect not only for the physical space of the school, but also for their fellow students and the school staff who work hard to keep the school clean and running smoothly. Ignoring this rule is considered a significant breach of conduct because it directly challenges the school's core values of cleanliness, respect, and consideration for others. That is why full focus is a must. Chapter 13. Keeping love quiet. There is a big push to make sure that the environment is one where everyone is respectful and focused on learning. This effort goes beyond just the classroom activities and homework. It even touches on how students handle their personal relationships, especially the romantic ones. The basic idea that these schools promote is quite simple. Keep your romantic life and the special moments you share with someone you like out of the public eye while you're at school. The point isn't to pretend that students don't have feelings for each other. After all, having a crush or being in love is a normal part of growing up. However, the main goal is to make sure that when students are at school, they are there to learn, respect one another, and stay focused on their academic work. That means that showing affection openly, like holding hands or kissing, is usually not encouraged. Thinking about rules, we explore how fashion takes the stage. Chapter 14. Uniform looks. Around the world, there are specific rules about what students can and cannot wear, including a rule against wearing nail polish. This is part of a larger set of guidelines known as the dress code. The main reason for having such a rule is to make sure all students look similar, which helps promote a sense of equality. When everyone follows the same dress code, it's harder to tell who might have more money or different fashion tastes, which can reduce feelings of jealousy or competition among students. This idea is based on the belief that making students dress alike helps everyone focus more on learning and getting along with each other rather than worrying about who looks the most fashionable. The restriction against nail polish is not just about controlling how students dress, it's also about emphasizing the values of the school community. Schools want to create an atmosphere where academic achievements and positive social interactions are more important than showing off personal style. By limiting personal adornments like nail polish, schools are trying to teach students that being part of a group and working together is more important than standing out as an individual. This lesson is grounded in the value placed on collective harmony, which is seen as essential for a supportive and respectful school environment. Dressed simply and watching the clock, we learn about the value of paying attention instead of being distracted by phones. Chapter 15. No phones, more focus. Schools across Japan take the approach to mobile phone use very seriously. The underlying belief is that for students to concentrate fully and soak up the lessons being taught, there must be zero interruptions from mobile devices. The sight of a student with a phone during class hours is usually met with the phone being taken away for a certain period. However, this action is not merely about laying down the law or keeping order. It's about imparting a valuable life lesson, understanding what matters most at any given time. This rule aims to instill a deep appreciation in students for their learning moments, urging them to devote undivided attention to their studies and to honor the classroom as a sacred space for education. This strict stance on phone use in schools does more than just prevent students from getting distracted. It serves as a constant reminder of the importance of being mentally and physically present in the learning environment. By enforcing this rule, schools are teaching students to respect their education, to value the here and now, and to recognize the significance of dedicating themselves fully to their studies. This policy is a practical lesson in prioritizing, helping students learn to put aside less important activities in favor of what truly benefits them in the long run. This approach fosters an atmosphere where students can learn without the constant pull of social media, messages, and online entertainment. It encourages them to engage more deeply with their teachers, classmates, and the material being taught, building stronger academic foundations and social bonds. By minimizing phone usage, schools are also teaching students about self-control and the importance of focusing on the task at hand, skills that are invaluable not just in school, but in all aspects of life. Putting phones away, we see how schools also care about health to keep everyone well. Chapter 16. Health first, always. Schools have a very thoughtful rule about what to do if a student starts feeling sick, even with just a small sign of a cold. The schools really encourage these students to stay home instead of coming to class. This advice comes from a place of caring a lot about the health and safety of everyone at the school, both the students and the staff who work there. The main goal of this rule is to stop sickness from spreading around the school. When students stay home if they're sick, it helps keep everyone else healthy too. But there's more to this rule than just keeping the school free from germs. It's also a big lesson in thinking about others and being responsible as part of a community. It teaches students that being healthy isn't just an individual thing, it's about ensuring the people around you are also safe and healthy. So when students decide to stay home because they're not feeling well, they're doing something important for their classmates and teachers. They're showing they understand how their actions can affect others. Now let's explore why never late is a trademark. Chapter 17. Punctuality matters. When someone is late, it's not seen as a small mistake. Instead, it's viewed as a failure to uphold a promise, underscoring the high regard for dependability in the community. This strong stance on punctuality serves a dual purpose. First, it teaches students the significance of being reliable, a quality that is incredibly valuable not just in academic settings, but also in the workplace. Employers often look for individuals who can manage their time well and who they can count on to meet deadlines and commitments. Second, it instills effective time management skills, preparing students for a world where balancing multiple responsibilities is the norm. Students learn early on that time is finite and should be utilized wisely, with an understanding that being punctual is a form of respect for the people they interact with, whether in school, at work, or in personal relationships. This focus on punctuality is seen as a way to cultivate a community where mutual respect and harmony prevail. It teaches that respecting others' time contributes to smoother interactions and more productive environments, whether in class, during meetings, or in personal engagements. Schools that prioritize punctuality are not just enforcing a rule, they are shaping individuals who appreciate the value of time and understand that respecting time is integral to maintaining social order and building trust. Now, we learn how not littering makes clean places and responsible people. Chapter 18. Respect through cleanliness. Schools and universities have strict rules against throwing trash anywhere but in the bins provided. This rule is about more than just keeping the place clean. It's about teaching everyone the importance of looking after the environment and showing respect for each other. By having such a rule, educational places are trying to instill a strong feeling of pride and a sense of responsibility in students for the places they share. When students actively participate in keeping their school or university clean, they learn firsthand how important it is to care for the world around them. This lesson goes beyond the classroom, showing students that taking care of their environment can also create a better space for learning and growth. This approach to keeping schools clean has two main goals. First, it helps students learn about environmental conservation. They see how their actions can impact the planet and why reducing waste and litter is essential. This understanding of environmental care helps prepare them for a future where they can make a difference in protecting the Earth. Second, it teaches the value of working together for the common good. When students work as a team to keep their environment clean, they learn the importance of community and mutual respect. They see that when everyone does their part, It creates a better space for everyone to enjoy. Broader vision of fostering a generation that is environmentally aware and committed to the principles of sustainability and communal harmony. With good health and respect, we learn how being on time teaches the importance of respect and being ready. Chapter 19. The Value of Promptness. Japanese schools are trying to teach some very important life lessons about hard work, planning ahead, and showing respect for the time of everyone around you. The focus on being punctual goes beyond just following rules for the sake of it. It's about helping students understand how valuable time is and how being late can affect not just their day, but also the day of others. When students learn to be punctual, they're learning much more than just how to watch the clock. They're learning to think ahead, to prepare for what's coming, and to understand how their actions impact the group as a whole. In Japan, being on time is seen as a sign of respect for others. It shows that you value their time as much as your own. This lesson in time management and respect is something that can help students in every part of their lives, from school to work, and even in their personal relationships. This emphasis on punctuality is not just about avoiding being late. It's about building a sense of responsibility in students. They learn that by being on time, they're showing that they can be trusted and that they take their commitments seriously. This kind of responsibility is something that employers look for when they're hiring, and it's also a trait that can lead to more successful and respectful relationships in all areas of life. From clean places, we think more about how being on time teaches lessons that last beyond school. Chapter 20. 100% Minimalism. It's quite common to find schools without lockers. This might initially seem unusual, but there's a valuable lesson behind it. These schools teach their students to live a minimalist lifestyle, encouraging them to bring only what they need. This method helps students learn how to choose what's essential and to keep their lives simple and organized. The idea is to help students understand the importance of being tidy and not letting their possessions take over their space or their lives. By learning to live with less, students can focus better on their studies and not get distracted by too many things. This minimalist approach has several benefits. First, it teaches students about organization. When they have to fit everything they need into a small bag, they learn to prioritize and manage their belongings effectively. This skill is something they can use in all areas of their lives, helping them to keep their homes, workspaces, and even their schedules neat and orderly. Second, living with less clutter helps students concentrate better. Without a locker full of distractions, they can focus more on learning and less on managing their stuff. This practice of minimalism in schools reflects a larger cultural value in Japan, finding beauty in simplicity and order. It encourages students to appreciate what they have and to find contentment in a simpler way of living. This way of life doesn't just make their school day easier, it also prepares them for a future where they can approach problems with a clear mind and a focus on what's truly important. What shadows lurk in your thoughts after hearing about Japan's uncommon school rules? Hit that like and remember, the next exploration could be just a subscribe button away.